You remember the name Aldon Smith? Top 10 overall pick back in 2011 by the Niners. Smith was a Pro Bowler at 23, but out of the league by 26, in part due to substance abuse issues. Last with the Raiders. He hasn't played a snap in about 4 years, but the Dallas Cowboys have signed him to a pretty much incentive-laden deal, hoping that maybe, just maybe, Smith can regain his form of long ago. Was an All-Pro in 2012 and had a really nice start to a career, but off-the-field issues derailed Smith, and again, has not played in quite some time. All right, Pete Prisco, Jonathan Jones. Got our guys here to discuss this. Pete, I'll start with you. Aldon Smith, right? That's a guy. It's a name from the past. Big deal, small deal, or no deal here?
Well, it can be a big deal, but for right now, it's probably just a minor deal. And let's hope for his sake that everything is indeed behind him, that he's clean, that he's capable of getting on the football field, not having distractions, and attacking that quarterback. Because in his prime, at his best, he was one of the best pass rushers in this league. And there are some scouts and personnel people out there who think he had a chance to be better than Von Miller, and that's high praise. And so I hope he's got everything on track. I hope his life is back in order and he can get out there and play football. Will he ever get back to that form? Who knows? Probably not. But here's hoping he gets a chance to at least show that he can.
Jonathan, at one point in time, Lawrence Taylor was great. Nobody's signing him. I mean, is there too much time here? Big deal, small deal, no deal?
Very small deal for me, and I think that contract, the incentive-laden contract, really does reflect that. He's been out of football for 4 years. He's going to be 31 a couple games into the season. He turns 31 in late September, and so really, even when he was still in the league, he was not all that productive. All of those numbers really were created in 2011 and 2012 when he was the fastest to 30 sacks in NFL history, and on and on. But really in the last 2 years that he played, and he saw half seasons in each of his final 2 seasons, I think he combined for 5.5 sacks in his final 2 seasons in the NFL. So really in the past 6 years, he's had 5.5 sacks and 4 seasons off. So it's really hard for me to get too juiced up about this right now.
Now, it's contingent upon him being reinstated. Jonathan, what does that mean, and is he going to get reinstated?
Well, obviously the Cowboys having signed him, Jerry Jones being, very close with Roger Goodell, he would have to have some understanding, some intimate knowledge that this would happen, or else why even waste your time? So, Aldon Smith, you would have to assume, because reports came out that he was hoping to get reinstated last month, and so now we're seeing those wheels start to turn. Obviously, things have probably been happening in the background for him to get reinstated. And so, with him sitting out of football for 4 years, obviously, based on decisions that he had made, I find it very difficult to believe that he will have to miss any time in 2020, that this reinstatement should happen.
Now, Pete, we've seen precedent of guys being away a long time and then coming back and making an impact in other sports. Josh Hamilton away for substance abuse for several years in baseball and then made a big impact with the Texas Rangers. Is there anything like this, especially with kind of like an edge rusher guy, where you've seen this kind of time off and it's worked out at all?
No, not this kind of time off. Absolutely not. And Jonathan made a good point. He's going to be 31, so there's always concern about deteriorating body and skills. And he pointed out that he only had 5.5 sacks in those 2 seasons. The kid was out doing who knows what back in those days. And that's the biggest concern, was will he ever get back to being the elite pass rusher he once was? And look, he had all kinds of issues, but I can tell you this with 100% certainty. The 49ers players loved him. Every bit about him. They enjoyed his company. They enjoyed him. They hoped he got clean. And there were people in that locker room they didn't like. But he was one of the guys they really did like. And so from that standpoint, I think it's good to see him get back in. But will he ever be an elite pass rusher? Probably not. Can he be a 5, 6, 7 sack guy in a situational type of role? Absolutely, if he can get back to close to what he used to be.
There it is. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Appreciate your thoughts on the news from Dallas that we have Aldon Smith getting signed, and we'll see if he can somehow be productive. So again, The guy was an all-pro a long time ago, but was first-team all-pro, and you don't win a church raffle to do that. Was top 10 overall pick by the Niners. Went across the bay, played for the Raiders, who are now in Vegas, and now he is in Dallas.